Filipino women. Today's topic is gonna be about when you marry a Filipina, you will notice that many gets really upset all the time, and it's called tampo in Tagalog, and it's called lood in Bisaya. So there's many factors of why that things happen, of why tampo is so common for Filipinas. It's not a coincidence that so many of us, including me before, used to always feel upset, and also so many factors contributes on why so many Filipinas always gets upset. And as you know, Philippines is a third world country. Everything is harder in here, you know. That also contributes to the mood of a woman to get upset, to get disappointed about what's happening around us. So it used to be so hard to get documentations, and it's so crowded in the Philippines. That also contributes to mood swings generally of a Filipina. There's so much pressure that's put to Filipinas, you know. I'm not sure if you all know, but many Filipinas are also breadwinners of the family. That's also something that makes our lives so much harder. They know that there's so much pressure and burden put to them that they have to take care of everybody. Getting upset is easily triggered because of our family attachment, responsibilities. So many Filipinas are going overseas to work, to help their family, since so much obligation are put to women in the Philippines. Like that alone contributes to why we develop this habit of getting upset all the time. I mean, there's a reasons behind that. It's not really about overacting. Life in the Philippines is so different than being in the US. It's so hard when you know everyone is expecting you to help them. I mean, that's why I detach myself from my family, because that used to be the reason why I get upset all the time. It caused arguments and detachment to my relationship with my husband, and that was also a problem, you know. My relationship is affected by my emotions and me getting upset about my family. I think another reason that also contributes for Filipinas to get upset is that we're so pressured in achieving so much things. Our families expect us to do something greater, you know? Like in our marriage, they expect us success in our career, in our family, in being successful in helping our family, doing greater things, maybe business, and career, education. It's like, even I felt that, you know. It seems like Filipinas are more expected to do something better and greater, more success in life comparing to the men and the boys in our family. Yeah, because when I was also growing up, my brothers were also favored by my mom and didn't really say anything to them, to discipline them, to give them advice on what to do, to help them to be better, to monitor them when they go to school. And they're both fucked up now. My mom died a few years ago, and they're both really not doing well. I think, you know, parents, it's the parents' obligation to teach your kids, to mold your kids, and to be there for them, to guide your kids so that, you know, they will grow up and be able to have a guide of where to go in their own life. Since so much pressure put to us, it's really connected with families, you know. It's like your disappointments, and when you are expected to give, to help, it contributes into getting upset, really. Like it's not really something that is so easy to deal with. I don't know. It's just part of the culture here that People and our families expect a lot from women to do better comparing to men, and it's unfair, you know. It's unfair that women have so much worries, have so much responsibilities and baggage. I know that contributes into why women here gets upset until it becomes a habit. Actually, that's the right term. It becomes a habit because, you know, everything around you is more difficult. So much pressure, so much disappointment that you have to encounter every day as a Filipina woman. It's make you feel like, what else is in this world, you know? Seems like everything has to come from me. Financially and emotionally, it's like you're always expected to be there for the family. I think another thing that also contributes to, you know, getting upset is because the environment. Look at this. My sister's already living in a what you call a middle class housing here, but as you see in my video before about tips on buying a townhouse, there's so much problems. As I said, life is so much harder. So I think that greatly contributes on why so many of us develops the habit of getting upset. There's so many reasons to just out of the blue get disappointed about something or get upset about something. The environment, it's so crowded. Something happens in your family that also contributes with that. Anything around us can be a cause of getting upset. I noticed once I lived in the US, it's like, wow, I used to get upset all the time. I'm so glad my husband was there for me, was always like supporting me. I used to get disappointed about just anything about the family because they always expect so much from me financially. The environment here, I don't feel safe. That's also another reason that I would like get upset sometimes. I feel that I'm not safe, like here in this neighborhood. Wait, let me show you. Here, you know, in this neighborhood, I'm not sure if you can see it from outside, but I'm sure you've seen it before. I used to like feel so unsafe in here, you know, like I can feel it that I can get raped anytime. In the US, when you call the cops, within 5 minutes, they're already at your door. But here, it's like, I don't know, it's like so much cases of rape and there's no justice. Hopefully it will change, you know, since Duterte is changing so many things here locally. But for years and years, I've experienced so much in my life that can actually trigger of getting upset before my husband brought me to the United States. And so many things happen in my life related to what I just said. I mean, I'm not ready to get into details yet, but yeah, harassment and rape and getting molested, you know, so many Filipinas are experiencing that. That will also, you know, cause emotional tension. And also, as we previously made a video before about when you marry a Filipina, you may encounter extreme jealousy. That is also connected of tampo, of why so many of us gets disappointed, gets upset, is because who would be happy anyway when your friend or your own sister takes your guy or fucks your guy, then later on you just realize, oh, they're already together. I'm not exaggerating this holidays. This happened to me too. That's why I used to have extreme jealousy and I'm always getting upset. Because you know, who would be happy if you know someone you know hook up with your ex, someone close to you. Our guys keeps hopping around. That's why I started dating outside my race, because of that, you know. People here, Filipinas, some Filipinas don't have decency, and just even though they know that person is already committed, they'll still purposely take your guy because maybe, I don't know, it's so common here in the Philippines. So that greatly affects us Filipinas and why we get upset, we get so jealous. As you've seen in my videos before, I mean, the environment here is very crowded, dirty, polluted. I mean, all of those factors combined definitely affects the mood of not just Filipinas, but generally the people in the Philippines, since it's congested and then there's more crimes. I mean, all of those that I mentioned affects our mood. That's why we easily get upset. And lastly, when we went to see this Gugmang Giatay musical, it's like a Cebuano musical, it just came into my mind again that, you know, here in the Philippines, when a woman gets upset, our man, the guy, is supposed to court the woman so that she'll feel better. So in a way, I would say that's part of the culture, you know, that if a woman gets upset, the man is expected to court your wife or your girlfriend until they feel better. And then to court, you have to give flowers or a gift, chocolate. If that doesn't work, if flowers, gifts, or chocolates, or sweets, or cake, or anything that you can give to your partner doesn't work, then just give her time and keep talking to her every now and then until she feels better, and then yeah, she'll be back to her normal self after a day or two. Also, another thing is that many of us don't really have a father figure. So it's like, even me, I have a father, but my father doesn't really communicate. Yeah, parenting is like a cycle of problems, you know. Like my parents didn't teach me to communicate. It's actually my husband who taught me to communicate, and once I've overcome that part of me, our relationship has been very, I mean, I've never really been happy in my life. I was always miserable before. It's hard to believe, but yeah, my husband taught me how to communicate, how to fix things without shutting down. That's what he says. Because whenever I get upset before I stop talking, it went on for days when my mom was still alive. So I had a really hard life, and that contributed on why I always get upset. When your life is always hard, I mean, it's really hard to smile. When you don't have parents, when you have nothing to eat, when you have nobody there supporting you emotionally, when your parents push you to do bad things, who'd be happy about it? I mean, mine is worst case, but I know other Filipinas are also going through different challenges in their lives. But yeah, it definitely affects our emotions and why we get upset about things that our partners don't really understand. Yeah, if courting doesn't work, then just give your Filipina time to, you know, be with herself, and time to have some peace of mind until she feels better. And then once she feels better and start talking to you, then you can sit down and talk and explain to her that, you know, communication is important. It's hard to open up with your feelings, but it's necessary when you are married, when you have a partner, because you're not alone anymore. You cannot just ignore your partner who's living with you in the same house and not talk for days. I mean, that's not healthy for a relationship. I know it's hard to understand, but yeah, it's a culture difference too. When I first lived with my husband during the first year, we had so much adjustment, and I'm very thankful that my husband has been very supportive. That's what I meant when I said he's always been there for me. He's always been very supportive of me, because his, you know, the culture is so different. And yeah, tampo, that's also a big cultural difference. If we get upset, we expect that our men, it's like a part of the culture where if a woman gets upset, you're supposed to court your wife or your girlfriend. But since we married outside our race, it's a huge adjustment, you know. It's something that's very opposite between Philippines and other people's culture. And that's it. And oh God, I really waited to make this topic until I'm here in the Philippines, because, you know, I know the feeling of being here is different. And now that I'm here, I'm actually on my 25th day, 26th day. I'm actually feeling it again, you know. On my third week of being here, I'm starting to feel it. I'm getting emotionally drained as days pass by being here, because you know everyone's in need, like you need to help. And now I'm a very helpful person, but sometimes when you know you got nothing to give anymore, or you only have enough for yourself, it's like it doesn't feel good. And yeah, I'm starting to feel drained of being here. I mean, I want to help people, but sometimes like you need a break. Like sometimes you just have to help yourself. When you marry outside your culture, you know, expect a lot of adjustments. And also, you have to respect the culture of your partner. There's always pros and cons when you marry outside your race, because the culture is different, the upbringing is different. So you cannot expect that everything will work with how you want it to be, since you're marrying outside your race. Like even I had so much adjustments, especially when you're very independent. It's not easy to set aside your pride, to set aside yourself just to make your relationship works. But I did it, so that means you can too, right? You know, you should not give up, and you should have patience with your partner, because that's the only way that it can work. Because if you don't have patience, now your relationship is not going to last. And respect your partner's culture. And same as us, like when we go to America, we adjust to our husband's culture, you know. We adjust to our partner's culture, the environment. We adapt to the changes in our lives. So same goes towards Filipinas, you know. If your partner gets upset, be supportive, be understanding. If you can't handle it, then don't marry outside your race. You know, if it's too hard to handle, it's better to, you know, stick within your race. That way you don't have to adjust about family drama of Filipinas. As my husband says, you have to meet each other halfway. That's the only way that your relationship can work. I get really emotional when we discuss topics like this. But I also want you, my audience, to understand on what's going on, why things happen the way it is happening. I hope that this helps you. Thank you so much for all our subscribers. I'm very overwhelmed with the support of our audience. Thank you so much, guys, for your continuous support in our channel. You know, without you, this channel won't grow. How we make contents is through our audience, you guys, because I love helping people. I love helping people. Through information, I'd be able to help, not financially, but at least I'm able to do something for other people. That makes me happy every time I've helped somebody.